My name is Mars and this is my opinion. Just a couple disclaimers before I start this video. Also, sorry if I look away. There's a window. I'm filming in front of a window. I live in a dorm building. The walls are really thin. I'm sorry about any noises, you know, like people screaming, because they like to do that a lot, especially outside for some reason. I'm only a little salty, it's fine. And then another disclaimer, I just want to say that these are my opinions. In no way are they meant to offend you or harm you. I appreciate every single work of art. Just writing a book in itself is a challenge, and I don't want any authors or any fans of these books to think that I'm coming at them. I'm really not. I read them, so I obviously had interest in them. They were obviously good concepts. They just didn't, some of them I really liked, so this is not all a bad video, but some of them I just didn't really hang with. So let me just look at my phone, you know, because I put all the notes there and I didn't set it up because I'm stupid. So the first book I'm going to be talking about is The Song of Achilles. Unfortunately, the book is not with me because I am in a dorm room and I had to be selective of the books I brought. But I thought this book was beautifully written, so beautifully written. I love Greek mythology to begin with, so this is already like my forte. But in addition to that, it was so much easier to understand, not gonna lie. Like it was, I mean, Greek mythology is, I can understand Greek mythology. It's just, it's not something I can just read casually when I'm not in the mood to think. This book was more, not that it was unintelligent, it was very intelligent, but it was a lot easier to read. Like I didn't really have to think so much into it. Like I didn't have to like use my brain as much. It was also super touching, super emotional. The ending, I cried. I genuinely cried. I sobbed for, I think, about the last several pages. It was a good chunk of the book, of the ending of the book, that I literally was a fucking mess. I have to admit, there was the part, the war scene, that's just in Greek mythology, it's not spoiling anything, but there's a war scene in it. It went really slow, but again, it is based on Greek mythology, and Greek mythology can sometimes get a little bit slow. The Iliad, the Odyssey, they have their slow parts. So I completely understood that. I didn't complain too much about that. That was like completely understandable. Loved the book. A+ in my book. I think I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I probably did give it a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, but like what got me to give it a 5 was the ending. The ending got me. I just recommend it 10 out of 10. The next book I'm going to be talking about might be controversial for some of you. Controversial. Can I speak English? No. Might be controversial for some of you. I really wanted to like it. I want to give a little bit of perspective. I want to say that I am both pansexual / bisexual, I'm not really sure which one yet, sorry, and gender fluid. Gender fluid being I identify as both male and female. So reading this book for me was like, I am in the LGBTQ, so it was like I always tend to give more brownie points to LGBTQ books for just being LGBTQ, but this one just really just flopped for me. I'm talking about Carry On. Carry On by Rowell, which I know is very loved, but I thought that the plot line was kind of poor in terms of the romance. I thought there was really nothing there. I understand that it was meant to be it was kind of like a fan fiction of Harry Potter. I understand. It's described as enemies to lovers, and I just don't think that that's an accurate representation, because there's really no like hate in it. Like they don't hate each other. Like they pretend they hate each other. They don't. Like they're like obsessed with each other. And you know from the start. It's not like Harry Potter where they really like do kind of hate each other, and a lot of the like Harry Potter fan fictions I read, they really genuinely hate each other, and then they're like, oh shit, like I actually kind of have feelings for this person, like oh crap, this is bad, like why do I have feelings for someone I'm supposed to hate? Like, I don't think this book needs a sequel. I read something where Rowell specifically said, this is it, like this is the end, like I'm done, after this I'm wrapping it up, like this is just wanted to give it justice. I probably won't go back to this. I don't know if it was in an interview. I don't know if it was in like the author's description. It was definitely not in the author's description. But like, I don't know, I can't remember where it was, but I specifically remember reading her saying that she would not continue the book, and yet she gave it a sequel, which I don't think it needed, because I truly think that the ending was like an end, like it was a finish, like it was a hard finish. I don't think it needs a sequel. I also genuinely hated the ending. I feel like it was very anticlimactic. It was supposed to be this big plot twist, and I really just didn't see it as that. I saw it as something like someone trying to make it a big plot twist. I'm so sorry. I really wanted to like this book, but it just kind of fell flat for me. So the next book I'm going to be talking about is We Were Liars by Lockhart. I cannot stress how much I loved this book. I loved the romance in it. I thought it was kind of realistic, you know, at most points. Because there was all the nervousness and all the like unsureness, like that was a very big plus for me. In addition to that, again, I cried. I cried like crazy at the ending. I cried, I think even after the book was finished, I sat there and had a good cry. And there's like a plot twist in it. I can't tell you what the plot twist was, but it was so good. I didn't see that one coming at all. I really just didn't think that that was what was gonna happen. I was shocked, I was surprised, I was at a loss for words. It was just really well written. I think it was really like, throughout the book you're supposed to be a little bit confused. And I liked it. I liked that. I like that you were supposed to be confused. I love it when the answers are revealed at the end, kind of like a Black Mirror type of situation. That's my all-time favorite. So this was like a 5 out of 5 for me. So the next book I want to talk about is one that I also really, really wanted to like. Like, I need to stress that I really wanted to like it. The book is called Scythe or Scythe, I've heard it pronounced both ways, by Neal Shusterman? Shusterman? I'm sorry that I'm the worst at pronouncing things. Neal Shusterman, I think. Shusterman. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But I thought that at points it was very good. Like, I thought that it was a very well-written book. Don't get me wrong, he's a good author. I genuinely enjoyed his writing style, but I didn't think that book needed a romance at all. I just really didn't think that the romance that happened in it needed to happen. I really just would have preferred it as a friendship. It didn't need a romance, like, to be such a good story. I really just thought that it would have done much better without it. It also just wasn't my type of book. I don't hate it. I definitely think it's like a 3, I think. 3.5, 3, maybe like more towards a 3. I mean, as much as there are some really good parts, there are some parts that were just really like hard to read and get through. Like, I just wasn't, I don't know, I just wouldn't be interested in picking up the book. Like, I would like be like, do I really want to read this, or do you really want to read something else? I wish I liked the book. I do think it had a good plot. Like, I thought all the ideas were good. I just don't, again, I don't think it needed romance. I think that was the biggest no for me. So the next one I want to talk about is actually a book that like a lot of people I've heard don't really like, and that's The Maze Runner. I just want to say I only liked the first book. I didn't read the rest of the trilogy because I only liked the concept of the maze. The rest wasn't really interesting to me. The maze was the concept that really resonated with me. I watched the movie before I read the book. Obviously the book was better, but typically when I watch the movie, I never go read the book because I can't read books that I've already read the plot of. Like, I don't have the motivation to read it. So it was incredible that I actually ended up reading the book after I'd seen the movie. That's kind of what really like did it for me. It was so interesting. The action scenes were so easy to like picture myself in. I typically can't read action scenes very well. Like, I kind of get lost in them. I'm like, yeah, okay, there's a lot of action going on, I understand. But this one, I really felt in it. I felt the need for whatever objective they wanted to accomplish. I felt that, and it was just really good. It was also honestly really well written, really engaging. I say this is more of like a 4 out of 5 stars. I think on Goodreads it's 5 out of 5 stars, but when I was setting up Goodreads, I just put books I liked as 5s and books I didn't like as 1s because I just am a loser. So this next one I'm really going to get like slammed for. Someone's going to literally come for me, and I'm so sorry. I am genuinely so sorry I didn't like this book because I really wanted to. I know I've said that about every single book, but this was recommended to me so many times by all of my friends that I just wanted to like this book so much that I like finished it and was still so upset. Like I was trying to find something to like the whole way through and I just didn't. And for me, that was The Night Circus. There was so many points of views for me. I unfortunately didn't think that that was a good structure for the book because I didn't get to like connect to any of the characters. I was not connected to a single character, and I wish I was, because they were beautiful characters, but I wasn't connected to a single one of them. It just kind of felt vague for me. They just felt distant. It felt like a friend of a friend. I didn't like the romance at all. I didn't like them together. I just didn't think that they needed a romance. I would have preferred that they were friends. I didn't think the romance was very intriguing to me. I wasn't connected to the romance. The magic was really cool, but also it was just kind of complex, so I wasn't really able to wrap my head around it. I don't know, maybe I just wasn't in the right place to read it. Maybe I just needed something that was a little simpler to read. In addition to that, I want to say that it was beautifully written. Like, the author can write, like, so well, and that's why I wish I liked the book. Maybe I'll read something else from the author, maybe I'll like that better, maybe it was just the plot that wasn't right for me. I don't know. So the next book I want to talk about is Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. I loved this book. I think I read it at the exact right time in my life. I think I needed this book. Getting lost in this book was one of my favorite things to do. I really enjoyed the romance. Though it was predictable, I thought it was soft, and I thought it was so sweet. It was cute, it was soft, it was something I truly enjoyed. I really liked the plot. I liked how every person worked. It was just such a good plot all around. I loved the characters. I got super attached to each character. I really just truly fell in love with each character. Even the ones that were supposed to be like evil or bad were just, they have a special little place in my heart because I just love this book. The action scenes were things that I could really get into. I could really feel myself in that moment. Like, it was just it hit all the right marks for me. 5 out of 5 stars. Really just genuinely enjoyed it. So freaking good, my dude. So the next book, even though I have followed a pattern of dislike and like, this one's another book I really liked, and I'm really excited for that. This book was Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I cannot tell you how much I loved this book. It was so beautifully written, and I cried a lot. And let me tell you, there's not a lot of reason to cry in this book. I just genuinely thought it was so beautiful that I cried. The ending was really sweet. For most of it, I couldn't predict what was going to happen, and typically that's a problem with me for books, but I genuinely every little turn surprised me. Everything was just so heartwarming and beautiful. Another 5 out of 5 stars. It also came at the right time in my life. I loved this book. I was fully in this book. There was nothing that could take me out of this book. It was perfect. So this video is basically just for you to get to know me better, just to see if your reading style matches up with my reading style. I know it's like kind of hard to figure that out right off the bat. Anyway, so that's the end of my video, and I really hate outros.